Hello guys, welcome to my channel. This is Amandi. Today we are going to talk about understanding computer networks and systems. So first we'll talk about the table of content that we're going to talk about in this presentation. So the topics we are going to talk about is internal components of a CPU, functions of a CPU, hardware components interaction, types of storage media, data representation, encryption of data representation, representation of images and sounds, compression of data, images and sounds, purpose of logic gates, types of computer networks, hardware, software and transmission media in networks, World Wide Web technologies, and computer network topology. So first we'll talk about what is CPU. CPU is commonly known as the central processing unit is commonly known as CPU, which is an electrical microchip and a microprocessor, which carries out processing in accordance with user instructions. So, what consists in a CPU parts? There are three parts which are there in a CPU. That is control unit, memory or storage unit, and the other one is ALU, or as we call as arithmetic logic unit. Internal components of a CPU. The internal components of a CPU is a CPU architecture, arithmetic logic unit, and control unit. When we're talking about the internal components of a CPU, in a CPU architecture, the CPU's components uses primary memory and secondary memory to store information and instruction. Arithmetic logic unit or ALU is the engine that does math and logic operations. Control unit, the component retrieves, decodes and executes instructions from memory or control data flow between the CPU and the other part of the computer system. A computer's function. The CPU, or as the central processing unit, the commonly referred to as the brain of a computer, perform essential tasks of all computer devices. So the first one is fetch, decode, or we can tell execute cycle. The fundamental function of a CPU is a fetch, decode, and execution cycle or execute cycle. It goes as follows. So the fetch, the CPU needs instruction from a memory. That's called as fetch. The CPU translates the instruction in operation that has to be carried out. It's called a decode. The CPU carries out the actual action provided by the instruction, which may include logic, arithmetic, or the data manipulation called as execute. The second one is arithmetic and logic operations. Arithmetic operations. There are addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division may all be done using the CPU. For projects requiring numerical data, this is essential. Logic operations. These involve mathematical operations such as AND or NOT or XOR. They are in charge for making decisions and data processing. Control flow, looping. There are two parts like that also. The CPU is a fundamental part of a computer system, effectively processes data and instructions, making it essential for a computer's overflow performance. Hardware synergy for task execution. The first one is CPU, the primary device for carrying out computations and executing instructions is the CPU. RAM, random access memory. Motherboard, storage devices. GPU, or as we can call as graphics processing unit. Input or output devices. The process of collaboration and execution. The step 1 is boot up procedure. The step 2 is installing an operation system, or as we can call as OS. The step 3 is user instruction. Step 4 is CPU processing. Step 5, RAM usage. The RAM is used by the CPU to temporarily store data and instructions to make manipulation and access quick. Step 3, GPU involvement. Step 7, data storage. Step 8, output to a display or other devices. Step 9, interaction between input and output devices. Step 10, synchronization and coordination constitute. Types of storage media. There are many types in storage media. The first one is HDD, hard disk drive, SSD, solid state drive, RAM, random access memory, flash devices, optical discs. Storage media images. These are some images of storage media. Types of memories. There are two types of memory. One is primary memory, the other one is secondary memory. In primary memory, there are two types of primary memory. One is RAM, other one is ROM. In secondary memory, there are three types of secondary memories. One is magnetic storage media, the second one is optical storage media, and the third one is flash memory. The data representation. Foundation of representing data, digital data. The second one is ANSI and Unicode. The third one is representation of numbers. Encryption and data representation. Fundamental of encryption. Data ID for security. With the use of an algorithm and a key, encryption converts readable data into an intangible format. It offers secrecy and shields prevent data from unauthorized access. The second one is encryption using public and private key. Differential encryption. The system employs two public and private keys for encryption and decryption, ensuring secure communication by ensuring that message is encrypted with the public key and only by decrypted with the private key. The third one is securing web communication. SSL and TLS protocols ensure secure internet communication by encrypting data transmit between a data server and a user's browser, protecting sensitive information from advertisers. How encryption works. This is the way how the encryption works, as you can see. Representation of images and sounds. Pixel versus vector-based images. These are the vector-based images and these are the pixel-based images. You can see in pixels there are kind of dots. Audio sampling and formats. Audio sampling, the process of transforming continuous analog sound waves into discrete digital samples. This is the digital audio sampling. Audio formats. Digital audio files in a variety of file formats including as MP3, WAV, and FLAC. Compression of data, images, and sounds. Lossless versus lossy compression. Lossy compression. This is the way it looks like. The original one, the lossless one, the lossy one. Popular compression algorithms. There are three types of ones: zip, JPG, MP3. Purpose of logic gates. Basic logic gates are and or not gates, as you guys know. So the other one is combining complex logic gates. Function with logic gates. Complex logic operations such as NAND, NOR, XOR. Those are the combinations of those basic logic gates. These are the logic gate symbols. There are many types of logic gates as you can see: OR, NOR, and NAND, XOR, XNOR, buffer, and NOT. Types of computer networks. There are types of computer networks: LAN, WAN, MAN, and PAN. LAN is local area network. WAN is wide area network. MAN is metropolitan area network, and PAN is personal area network. As this is an image which is follows like this. Hardware, software, and transmission media in networks. The first one is routers, switches, and modems. This is a sample image which you can take an idea, which is a modem, switch, and a router. In the internet, the data takes from the internet to a router. From a router, it goes to a switch, and from switch only, those goes to those PCs. Protocols. There are some protocols we need to know: TCP or IP, HTTP, and FTP. The third one is wired versus wireless communication. Wired communication uses actual wires or cables to transmit data. As you can see, there should be wired networks, like to those wired networks, there should be cables or wires to connect those data. But in wireless things, there are no need of data cables. World Wide Web technologies. The first one is HTML, CSS, or JavaScript. There are CSS. So this is an image which you can see the codes of CSS. This is JavaScript. You can see the code is follows like this in a JavaScript. The second one is client-side versus server-side scripting. Client-side scripting, you can see like this. Server-side scripting, you can see like this. This is the server-side scripting. Databases and web servers. Databases or web applications need to organize data which should be managed and stored. Web servers, software that needs to users browsers with online information. Web servers, applications that feeds users browsers with online information. So we need to go and talk about computer network topology. There are several types of topologies. I'll explain you that one also. So the first one is bus topology. There are some disadvantages and advantages of these. I'll explain one from each. The advantage is easy and reasonably priced to set up. The disadvantage of that is at a risk and individual point of a failure. The second one is star topology. I'll talk about an advantage and disadvantage of this. The advantage is easy management and centralized control. The disadvantage is centered on the hub. Network description occurs. All the networks will fail. The third one is ring topology. Centralized control is absent and resources are accessible to everyone. In this, disadvantage is disturbance to a network. If a single node or line breaks, then the whole network will stop again. This is the mesh topology. In the mesh topology, the disadvantage is high fault tolerance and redundancy. The disadvantage is expensive to implement since it needs a lot of connections. This is hybrid topology, allows for flexibility to fusing several topology. The disadvantage is maybe difficult to plan and execute. So thank you everyone for watching this. I hope this video is useful for you. So we'll meet in the next video. Till that, tata bye bye. This is Amandia Shodhani. Thank you for watching. Bye.